Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. Well, I do what I do for you. Yeah, I'm enjoying the road. I'm running, walking at this point in my life. So I'm going to share a few things with you. Today, we're going to talk about the things that I teach in my weekly classroom. But before we get there, I'm sorry. Let's do what we do. Right is a 25 rules to live by storytelling. Story with a message and story for life. I give life lessons, and you seem to like them. Tuning in, the numbers are going up, showing that somebody's tuning in. Check out the lesson I'm giving. I'm gonna continue to give them. I appreciate you. Let's rock. Right thing is mission, and yeah, I'm on it. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher level of spiritual enlightenment. Knowing yourself a little bit better from the inside, spiritually, and then mentally. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. Right thinkers, that's my mission for all of you to do just that. Know yourselves. But it's some things that you have to do to make that possible for you, and that is to know thyself and work on the things that you're lacking. That's called self assessment. Like that. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard that. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do for you. Stay tuned. I got you. Hope it's working out for you. I'm giving it to you, and you tune in to receive them. Hope it's working. Let's go. Now, a person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I keep giving you lessons about them. Don't be them. A person who knows but knows not that they know is just asleep spiritually. I'm a spiritual alarm clock. My job is to wake you up to yourself. You need to know who you are. A person who knows and knows that they know wear pyramids around their neck, sometimes on their head, but they're wise. Follow them. All these persons actually reside in you. Right thing know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I got a comment on my page, and sometimes I get, excited. This one really got me. It says, I follow the brother with the pyramids. Thank you, my dude. I don't do the name calling, so I always give thanks to where it's due. You know who you are. That's subliminal messaging. Okay. All right, let's go. Right thinkers. Let's talk about the things that I teach in my weekly class. I have a class structured with curriculum that I follow set forth to teach my students. Here, I get to do whatever I want to do. So let's talk about the things I do when it's under controlled environment, which is my job. All right. Right thinkers philosophy is one of the highest forms of yoga philosophy, again, and disciplines that I have developed independently over the years that I have been putting my time in studying and learning to master on my own. It's accurate and it's correct to say yoga is a science unto itself. Even all, not some, not most, all religions have used and incorporated in their religious philosophies and practices. What that tell you? I explained to you when religion is done right, is to educate you, enlighten you, inspire you, and motivate you. Sounds familiar? That's a way of teaching. That's the way of getting you to the next level. So they call it religion, which is fine. But if it's misunderstood, misinterpreted, and mistaught, the way I see a lot of it being done in the Christian form and every other form, they fall short in doing their job of getting you to be spiritually enlightened, aka to know yourself. My goal is to do just that. I ain't got a whole bunch of rah system, but I got stuff that you can implement in your daily life, live it, use it, and manifest it for yourself. I don't do fluff. I meticulously take out I call it meat and potatoes, the stuff that you can use. I got a whole bunch of books, but I ain't got time. I don't even teach them the book. I take specific information that they can use out of the book. That's because I know the book. But get back to the lesson. This is what I teach. So I never. And if I don't keep structure, if I don't have some boundaries, man, I go way out. So I try to keep the structure. So I'm in class right now. Let me get back to the class. Now, by teaching my own right thinking philosophical yoga principles with signs and symbols like the deities such as gods and goddesses, angels, sages, saints, etc. These are all people who are conscious of themselves, high conscious level, reach the level of nihas, become spiritual enlightened. Some of us live a righteous life, like the angels and the saints. And some of us, like the sage and the gurus, we teach others as master teachers to help others master themselves. So that's where I fall in at. Now, my yoga philosophy states, watch this, that the human philosophy, the human consciousness, and universal consciousness are one in reality the same. What you mean? I keep explaining to you, higher level spirituality is basically the forces of nature. Once you tap into understand that, you become conscious. That's what being conscious is. Ignorant just means you don't know. And you're unconscious if you don't know. You're ignorant, you're unconscious, but you're functioning, you believe what you're doing is right, but you need some proof, you need some facts, and you need to study. It says, even in the book that y'all profess to follow, I know it, it says, I studied to show myself approved. Who are you showing yourself approved to if you're studying? Your higher self. Understand that. That's who we serve. That's what it's all about with my right thinking philosophical concepts. Now, yoga is the mystical communication, watch this, that brings forth mindfulness, thoughtfulness, aka aware and being observant, the union between your higher self and the individual, and your universal consciousness when you integrate the aspects of your individual personality. When you practice right thinking philosophy, what you're doing, you're allowing your personality to be what? Purified. How do you purify your personality? Good question. Teach and understand Maya philosophical concepts. You live by them. It's a code of conduct and moral ethics that the ancients had in place long time ago. This is not new. Watch this. Now, what do you mean by that? So that when you purify your heart, you're offering self-service, you're doing the right thing, you're respecting, you're using your spiritual discipline to keep you on the straight and narrow, so to speak. That's the lifestyle that I live. That's the lifestyle that I teach in class. Everybody agree. Why? Because I present that, I teach that, and I show that. I've yet to be called a hypocrite or a fraud for what I teach and how I live. I take pride in that. So watch this. So that when you can behold your true essence, aka spiritual enlightenment, reaching nihas and knowing yourself, you become an enlightened being functioning in a human form. Now you're a different person. Anybody who knew me from back then, know me now. You different. Yes. It's called transformation. It's a lifestyle change. When you're doing the wrong thing, you can't continue to do that. There's no retirement plan for illegal and wrong lifestyle, short lifestyle. Don't live long. They say, dog, go fast. He don't go long. So you want to go fast? I prefer the long stretch. I want to live it to be old and gray. Newsflash. Now the drapes match the carpet. Some of y'all won't know what that is, but somewhere. All right, personal. Let's go. See, God, when your whole essence is God. You who you are is God, but you need to become conscious. That's why you wide awake and raise your consciousness. Let's talk metaphysics. It's the branch of philosophy, again, that systematically investigates what? The first causes of nature, the universe, and the ultimate reality of self. When you're studying higher consciousness or raising your consciousness level, you have to study metaphysics, you have to study nature, you have to understand the origin and where it comes from. I just did a class where I gave Maya as a personal assessment class that I was going to teach. The same day, a class before me, my man teaching his concepts, he did a personal assessment. I tied them both together and it works perfect. I call it modern assessment. It psychologically break down your character, all that good stuff. And guess what? I took it and it fit me to a T. So I had to back it. Why? I was impressed with that. So understand that. Knowing yourself is not new, but now they got modern ways to do that. I'm gonna incorporate that in my teachings also. So that's part of my lesson in my class. I took that to heart. Okay. And where was I? Down here somewhere. Okay, yeah, we got down here. Okay, here you go. Now, when you in search, okay, here you go. The systematic investigate the first origins of the universe. Okay, yeah. Now, when you're in search for that higher essence, which is the desire, that goal, and is the goal is to what? Become a right thinker and using the philosophical points of view, bring them to life, aka manifest the thoughts and the concepts that you learn are called spiritual truths. Why? Because once you manifest them, they become true to you. You know them for yourself. I don't ask for you to believe nothing I tell you. Let's talk, that's metaphysics. Let's talk psychology quickly, right? Quick lesson. Psychology has been defined as what? The study of the thought processes, the mind, the brain. When you go talk to a psychiatrist, you're doing the talking. Why? He's going to listen. He's going to analyze what you say and break it down. Hopefully, give you insight. I do that with esoteric teaching. I ain't trying to be a psychiatrist. Why? I know I can teach you psychological concepts that you can psychoanalyze yourself. Okay. Now, it's a study of the processes, the thoughts and processes based on your characteristics of the individual or a group, meaning we all have to be mindful. We all deal with the psyche, the ethos, and the mind. It's all mental. I keep telling you that the 7 phases of Hermetic principles, one of them is everything is mental, mind over matter. So, in other words, right thinking philosophy, yoga means to what? Yoke or link you back to your essence, to who you actually are. And by doing this with what? Knowledge, understanding, righteous living, you will obtain, every individual has the right to obtain higher consciousness. In other words, to know themselves. I'm big on that. Let's talk about spiritual transformation. Mhm. You won't know yourself if you don't spiritually transform. It's like the caterpillar and the butterfly. If you continue to stay a butterfly, not getting better, caterpillar, you'll never reach butterfly status. And that's your birthright. Get it? We use that as a metaphor to show you human beings the same thing. And we stay ignorant, spiritually ignorant, you doing the recycle over and over again. Get enlightened, know yourself, raise your conscious level, live, do, and be right, and get on with your life. And then next life, because this ain't the only one, this ain't the final stop. Sorry about that. But spiritual transformation through what? Mythology, Egyptian spiritual enlightenment will come by practicing the mythology. And again, teaching, learning. You get the myth. The ritual is understand it, implement it, and then something will mystically happen. Why? Because now you got the Kundalini spirits working and they rising, aka the CSF, cerebral spinal fluid, the Christos, that they got y'all believing is a person. Like this lesson ain't going there. Let's get back, aka human personality. It has to be recognized by the person spiritually and mentally, aka heart, mind, coherence. If you got one without the other, you're incomplete. Like man or woman, without the other, you're incomplete. Excuse me. Now, to your original source, which is what? The essence, your universal consciousness, yoga is a process which helps you to achieve that liberation or freedom from the ignorant bondage and the pain and suffering that comes with being spiritually ignorant to ordinary human beings in their daily existence. If you haven't became enlightened, your spirit will not go back home. It will go to another entity. Why? Because if it haven't been enlightened, it don't know its way. The body needs the conscious to go home. You are the conscious that has to get it there. There's some things that you have to do. It's not a free ride. It ain't a gimme. But if you do the right things, it's yours. Bingo. We dressed it up all kind of ways. Religion got you all these crazy nonsense. Just treat people right. Live right within your own space, and you'll be fine. You can't change the world, save the world, or you can save you and change you. And if we all took that as method, like they did ancient times, we'll be just fine. Harmony would just come amongst everybody. But powers that be, those in charge, when you got evil running the show or the ego running the show, we're not going to get there collectively. So understand that. Let me move on. Sorry about that. We'll get back to the lesson. All right, here you go. Now, right thinking philosophy's whole goal is to help every individual who follows it, studies it, to what? Discover their essential nature as being one with God. Self-discovery, or whatever, all that is the same thing. I'm just giving you the tools and the means to make that happen for yourself. That's right thinking philosophy in a nutshell. Let's move on. Now, you're one with God or the Supreme Being, universal consciousness. All these are just names for the same person. All different concepts. Like everything's on the one. Everything after God is his emulated processing concepts that he's given to make what he wants to happen. It's called learning creation story. If you don't have the understanding of how creation started, you really just haphazardly just throwing stuff around it. Well, I heard this. Well, they say that. Oh, what do you know? Before you start yapping about something, you should take stock and get understanding, and then you have a conscious understanding of at least what's coming out of your mouth, not just throwing words out, fragments of information. That never works. To reach the master mystical experience means you have to what? Learn and know these three stages of religion. Okay, not right thinking, religion. The concept of knowing thyself, getting become one with God is a concept of religious concept. That's where it comes from. You want to unite with your higher self. You want to become constant. All that is all the religion. Why? Because it becomes a way of life. Don't you live a religious lifestyle? Right thinkers do. I live a spiritual discipline lifestyle, aka you can make it a religion. I don't care. That's what it's been called. I fellowship with religious people because they like-minded and serving the higher self and living right. I could care less what they call themselves. Because if you live the three stages of religion, watch this, and if you learn them and live by them, like the spiritual truth of Maya, like I do, the same results will happen. This is why I get along with those people. First, you have three stages of religion. The myth, I just told it, the ritual, and the mysticism. This is the part that we fall short. But now watch this. Our culture, this ain't my words, this is out the book. Our culture belongs to the myth stage of religious practice. And I'm upset about that. Why? Because you just got one level. They know the story. Oh, we know this, we know that. We know you don't know nothing. But you believe you do. Hence ignorance. And watch this. Practice, and that's only what? The elementary level, the first grade. You still getting first grade knowledge, running around a grown person, still act like a kid with your so-called knowledge of self. You don't know who you are by a long shot. Watch this. The second level is a little better. Why? Because it's about the rituals, and you learn and you practice them by what? Performing the ritual, going to church, practicing Bible study, part of the prayer line, listen to the teachings of a preacher who's supposed to have biblical knowledge. And if they do, that's who you listen to. If they don't, you're going to have a problem. He's going to invoke that on you, and you will never grow, you'll never expand, but he'll get rich because you keep giving him for nothing. Third level, and this is what right thinking philosophy dwells at. The third level is what? You going beyond the myth, beyond the rituals. Why? And you attain the ultimate goal of the religious concepts. Right thinking philosophy, The third level, like third degree in masonry, you become enlightened to yourself, you begin to know yourself. But the level of realism, the key in understanding is that all God and goddesses you worship for the philosophical concepts do not exist. They are really just aspects of your single transcendental supreme self character that you have to sharpen every one of them. And each one of them have to be recognized, mastered, and put in check so you become spiritual being, aka Nihas, anointed, correct, all that good stuff. But it takes some work on your half. As a right thing to master, I want you to do that on a day-to-day basis. That's how it happens. Everybody has the opportunity to do it. And watch this, I'm wrapping up. This is taught in Per M. Haru, okay? AKA Book of the Dead. I got it right here somewhere. But yeah, it teaches you the things that you need to do to get where you want to go. The Bible's supposed to do that. Remember, Ackerman is basic instruction before leaving Earth. If they give you wrong instruction, you ain't leaving. I'm out. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got more.